hopefully you understood what was happening in the previous lesson. At the moment, I keep running my program, or having to run my program to try things out, and I'm changing the values in the program myself. It's not very gamey. We couldn't play a game if I had to keep coming in and changing my program every time. So what I'm going to do now is just sort of treat you basically to some idea of how to set a game off, how to keep it running, and how to sort of randomize things so that you don't have to keep changing things. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to libraries. At the moment I'm writing all the code. Now in Python there are loads of libraries. Let me just see if I can get to Python for you. And Python 27, there we go. Libs, libraries. If I go inside here, there's been loads and loads of libraries written for you. This is just a few. Here are some more, and one of the libraries that I'm going to be using is called random, so that I can generate a random number. So somewhere in Python we will have what we call a random library, but all of these are libraries. There are thousands and thousands and thousands. It's like a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle, really. If you want some code to do a job, then you can just pick out the code from a library. And this is the library that we're going to be using, random. We've actually got the code. If you wanted to look at it, you could look at it. If I open it up, here's the code already written for you. It's a lot of code. You don't want to be writing that. You just want to make some use of it. Okay, that's a lot of code. It's also very difficult code, very hard to write. But over time you'll start creating your own libraries, so that will be useful for you. But at the moment we're going to use these. These are sort of libraries that are given to you, and libraries means little bits of code that you can use in your own program. So I'm going to go and get that library in my own program, and all I need to do is type the word import and the name of the library, which was random. And now I've got access to all that code that was in that library. One of the library bits of code is called randint, and if I go back to sort of Google, if I type Python 2.7, that's the version we're using, random, so the name of the library, then I get lots of help with it. So it's going to tell me how to use it, when to use it. So all of those libraries that you've seen, all of those pieces of code, there's always going to be some information online for you to use. And really I only want to generate, if we go back to our program, instead of me typing false and true, I want it to just choose it randomly, true or false. Now that's not quite so easy, and we have to go back to sort of the truth tables when we were using zeros and ones. The random library, which we're looking at now, cannot produce true or false. It can only produce ones and zeros randomly. So that's knowledge that you will gain over time. And it works like this. For me to actually generate a true or false value, I need to type the word random. That is the library that I'm using. Inside there, I've got this sort of thing, print random.randrange. That's randrange. If I look elsewhere, random.randint, that is the one that I want. And I want it to produce random numbers between 0 and 1. 0 is going to be false, 1 is going to be true. So I need this function. So in my program, random.randint between 0 and 1. So I don't know what value, when I run my program, HasSword will have. It will either be 0, which is false, or it will be 1, which is true. And I'm going to do exactly the same with HasSword. I need the random library, and I need to choose a random true or false, the other way around. So now I haven't got a clue what value this is going to have, or whether I can be killed or can't be killed. So let's just run it first and see what happens. You can be killed. Okay, so I had neither a sword or a shield. Let's run the program again. Well, let's close the shell so we can see it working. Gonna run the program again. You can't be killed. Problem is, I don't know whether I had a sword or a shield, but I had one of them, so I can't be killed. So that's that part of the program. Still not brilliant. I'm still having to stop and run my program every time. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to sort of keep your program looping and require you to press a key to be able to move forward.